guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Damian. I'm back with a Mr. Nightmare video for you guys today. This one was suggested, but I was going to do it anyways. But it came out 10 days ago. And yeah, someone asked me to do it sooner, and I did the other one sooner, one like about police and police not helping or whatever, police not being able to help. And then once I saw the suggestion saying to do this video, I got kind of excited because, you know, of course I like these horror stories. And it sucks because it's summer horror stories, which obviously we're in summer now. Honestly, yeah, I don't know, like anything can turn into a horror story, like house horror stories, work horror stories, friend horror stories, breakup horror stories, stalker horror stories, I don't fucking know, phone horror stories. Like you could literally have anything. I don't know, hair horror story, like I don't know. It could be horror stories about anything, and summertime is like the best time. I don't know about you guys, but summer's literally by all my favorites. My all-time favorite is summer. It's 2:14 a.m. and you can probably tell. So yeah, my all-time favorite season is summer, and it's just warm outside. You can go outside with friends. It's nice outside. You can go for a walk. I'm wearing shorts right now and a t-shirt. It's fantastic. You know what I mean? Like it's just so nice outside. Like you can enjoy the weather. It's light all day long. It doesn't get dark until 8 or 9 p.m., which is fantastic, whereas the winter, it goes dark around 4:35 p.m., and it's just depressing. Like, especially after Christmas, because like once it's like November, December, getting towards Christmas, you're like, yeah, almost Christmas, you know, snowing, but then it's like you can't go outside, you can't bike, you can bike, that's going to be fucking difficult too. You know what I mean? It's just like, summer's great, you can be in the sun, be in the backyard, chilling, tanning, like it's just a nice sight, like you can walk, you can by the lake, like it's just beautiful. Summertime is just fucking beautiful, so I really envy, and I don't know if envy is the right word, but I really envy places like Florida where it's hot basically the whole time. Like season-wide. Warm, sunny every day. Crazy. Because I feel like summer does not last long here, so it's like whenever summer's here, we're locked in. We're like, yes, we're going to enjoy this shit before it gets back to the cold time. So anyways, summertime's great, and obviously there's horror stories that come with it, because there's horror stories with everything, like I just said to you guys. So I'm really excited for this one, starting. And because someone suggested to do it, that probably means I'm going to be surprised, right? That probably means I'm going to like it. I don't know if there's going to be a video, though, that I'm going to like more than the last one I did, because the last one I did was crazy, bro. Like, I feel like that one I did was intense. With the cops not being able to help and everything, like, it was just so, like, unsettling and, like, it had me, like, really uneasy. Like, it was just terrifying, bro. So I'm really curious what this one's going to bring. But it's 26 minutes, so obviously these are long horror stories as well, so Mr. Nightmare coming with the long stories, because I'm pretty sure before each story was about like 10 to 15, sorry, the whole video was about 10 to 15 minutes long. Now it's like 20 to 30 minute videos. So let's see, guys, I'm ready, I'm excited, and I'm scared because it's 2 in the morning right now, so let's go. And because it's summer in about 20 days from now, it's not good. Okay, Rodney, what you got for me?
I once met this dude named Matt when I was out with friends at a bar one summer. I was out with a big group, and Matt and I...
See, this could be considered a bar horror story, you know what I mean? It could be considered anything. Watch that again.
I once met this dude named Matt when I was out with friends at a bar one summer. I was out with a big group, and Matt and I made friends at the bar, vibing over the Cubs game that was on. My group kind of dispersed away from me as I spoke with Matt, so it wasn't like Matt really spoke to any of my friends. We ended up exchanging Instagrams, and he had a decent amount of followers on Instagram, and his pictures made him seem like a normal 20-something-year-old dude who likes to go out, travel, and stay active.
Okay.
After we exchanged info, I went to go find my group. Honestly, whenever you bro out with another guy while you're at a bar, the odds of ever actually contacting each other again after exchanging info are slim to none.
Yeah.
You always act like you'll hit them up, but come the next day when you're sober, you just have no interest. Well, the next day, which was a Saturday, I went out to another bar/restaurant with my friends. This was an outdoor spot on the water.
I don't know where this is, but that is beautiful. That is really pretty right there. Beautiful view. Like, I don't know where that is, I have no idea, but that's beautiful.
It was for my friend Tyler's birthday. I put something on my Instagram story as we all sang at the bar for him. After about an hour, we were done with dinner and just hanging around the outside section of the bar, and I got a tap on my shoulder. I turned around, and it was Matt. He dabbed me up with a smile and said this was his favorite Saturday night spot. I introduced Matt more officially to my friends this time, saying, "You guys remember Matt?" Even if they hadn't really spoken to him, they did see him the night before. Well, as the night went on, Matt kind of hung around for a while, and it was fine because everyone was drunk, including him, and everyone was just having a good time.
Okay.
The next time I saw Matt was when he invited me golfing on a hot day. Honestly, I suck at golfing, but it's something I want to get better at. So when he invited me early one Sunday morning, I went. I think it was literally the following weekend after I saw him last. It was just him and I going. I tried to get a couple of my friends to go, but they were too hungover and said it was too early. Matt and I just vibed playing golf. I think it was only 9 holes. It took us like 2 hours. Afterwards, we got food, and then I went home to relax before work the next day. I saw Matt one more time out after that, before he invited me on a hiking trip with him to Arizona. Honestly, Arizona and the Grand Canyon were always on my bucket list. I just checked the dates with work and confirmed I was able to go first.
Okay, yeah, so obviously so far it seems like they're going to be good friends, you know what I mean? Even if you don't like necessarily like look for a friend. Again, I feel like friends come on like the weirdest things. Like, bro, I have one best friend currently from that. So basically, I had a friend, and it was like a friend slash bully thing, if that makes any sense. So he was my friend slash bully, and then he basically kind of made me talk to his friend, which his friend, me and him basically became best friends. So now my bully basically gave me a best friend of like 8 or 9 years now, because me and him have been besties since like 2016. So literally about 9 years now, we just been best friends, and it's like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. Like you would have think, oh yeah, yeah, introduce each other, yeah, hey, what's up, like we video called. I ended up crushing on him. You guys don't care. Basically, yeah, it was a whole thing. It was so weird. Like that ended up being my best friend. Still to this day, I messaged him like an hour ago, and yeah, it's great. This other guy from a hookup app, like not even a dating app, just like a place where you get hookups. I basically met a best friend from there, which is not the place where you expect to get a best friend. But here we are. Or at least we're pretty good friends. I don't know if we're best friends like we say we are, but it's like, I don't know. I consider him my best friend, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I feel like friends just come out of the blue. My point of me saying this is like friends literally come in the strangest way possible. You could be shopping at a store. You could like run into someone and then you're best friends. Not right away, obviously, but like let's say for whatever reason you exchange deets. Then you're friends. Then you talk every day. Then you call. Then you hang out. It's like, okay, yeah, now we're friends, I guess, right? It's like it just kind of happens, right? And I feel like that's when it's like the most genuine, like friendship, because like even for them, like like they both want to hang out. They're both obviously down to hang out. It's great. They didn't expect anything to come out of it, but they met a guy the next night. Things kept going. Things kept escalating in a good way, right? Like the friendship escalated. Everything just kind of went better, right? Everything just kept going, which is great. Right? If you try to force a friendship, that's when it doesn't go the best. This one person, I basically like, when I was like a teenager, of course, I was like, I'm your Facebook, I'm your Facebook, I'm your Facebook. She hated me, and our best friends. Makes literally no sense. Like she hated me. I was super annoying. Now we're best friends. Tell me how that works. This other girl who in high school, she thought I was weird. Now we're best friends. Makes no sense. And again, by best friends, like we don't talk every day, but like me and her are good friends now. Me and her ended up being best friends. This other girl that I would not expect to be friends with in a million years. We were best friends. Anyways, you guys get it. But basically my point is that those are the friendships that are the best because they're just genuine. They come naturally. They're not forced. No one's trying to force it. Just asking to hang out. Sure. Ask them to hang out again. Sure. Ask them to hang out again. Sure. Period. You know what I mean? Then you're friends. It's great. It's really weird how friends come and go like that. Like it really is. So this is cool. This sounds like a good friendship that's forming, but it's in a horror story, which is making me sad because it's not going to have a good ending. Obviously, so.
That was an immediate yes. I asked Tyler and a couple of other friends to come with, but they were heavy no's. They said they couldn't get the time off work and needed to save money. The typical responses from any of my friends when I try to get them on a trip. I asked Matt if any of his boys were going, and he said nah, he was going solo dolo. I actually hadn't met any of Matt's friends yet. His Instagram painted him as this super popular guy though, so I didn't find it weird. We flew out on August 15th, and our return flights to Chicago were August 18th.
I feel like it's not bad to like go with someone, but like how long have you known him for? Like how long have you known this guy for? and you're already going on a plane together, like kind of like a trip. It's like I would wait a little bit more before just going on a plane with somebody that you just kind of met. Like, you know what I mean? Like what if they have bad intentions? Again, you seem like good friends, but in the beginning, you always have to be careful. Always be careful in the beginning. Obviously now, like 9 years in, for example, my best friend, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I gotta watch out for him because he might be bad. 9 years in, I think I'm fine. You know what I mean? It's like, but in the beginning, be
Landed
careful.
at night. Matt rented a car for the weekends, and on the way to the Airbnb, we stopped for food and alcohol. By the time we got to the Airbnb, it was late. We had a couple of beers when we got there, and I could tell that Matt was down to stay up longer, but I was admittedly shot and wanted to go to sleep. This was when I realized there was only one bed in the Airbnb. I had never asked him to confirm that there were 2 bedrooms. When I brought it up, he pointed to the couch I was sitting on and said it's a pull-out couch. He then said relax and that he's not going to charge me for the Airbnb. Honestly, a free stay in Arizona, I couldn't complain about the couch. I pulled out the sofa bed, set up the sheets, and went to sleep.
Okay.
It was surprisingly comfortable. In the middle of the night, I woke up to Matt walking through the living room to the kitchen to get water.
Okay.
I'm a light sleeper. The sound of a pin drop will make me wake up. I rolled over and went back to sleep.
Yeah, the weird thing about, I'm sorry, I'm pausing way too much in this video, but I feel like whenever my mom comes in the room, like let's say I'm like half asleep, but, and it's weird because like when she comes in, I'm awake and I'm looking at the door because I already hear someone coming. So it's like I'm already awake, just hearing someone walk over, and I'm like, why am I already awake? Like it's like, wait, why am I awake? And then my mom comes in, so I'm like, did she wake me up or did I just, like, how did that even happen? It's like she doesn't even have to knock or come in first and see, like I'm just already awake when she comes in, which is probably like really creepy, right? It's like anytime I come in the room, you're always awake. Like, were you awake though? Because then she probably thinks, like, let's say, I don't know, I fall asleep the light on half the time, and I feel like she kind of like comes in, and then normally I'm awake because like she doesn't really see me asleep. I mean, there has been times where I just stay asleep, but I mean, because obviously my dad and my mom obviously walk up and down the stairs and I don't wake up. It's like only when they come towards my room that's when I wake up. It's weird. I don't know. You guys don't care.
The next morning, Matt woke me up early. It was a sunny, gorgeous day, and we drove straight to the Grand Canyon. I had no idea just how massive it truly was, or how many individual trail options there were. We hiked the Bright Angel, I think. I didn't realize how out of shape I was until that day. Matt was perfectly fine, laughing and telling me to keep up while I was dripping in sweat and out of breath. We took numerous breaks, which we used to take a million amazing pictures. It was beautiful. Eventually, we got back to the car. We had been hiking for over 2 to 3 hours, and I needed food. We stopped by a deli on the way back. It was a long drive back to Phoenix, and when we got there, we took a midday nap, and then after that, we explored around Phoenix. And of course, in Matt fashion, we drank at multiple bars. I barely knew the guy, but I could already see he liked his alcohol. Fast forward, we got
See, I barely knew the guy, but you're on a trip with him.
really drunk. But I think I got drunker, and I'm not sure how, because Matt was downing as many drinks as me. We had to leave the rental on the street and Uber back to the Airbnb. It was late. Time flew by somehow. I don't remember much besides Matt blasting music in the Airbnb for a bit and my plugging my phone in next to the couch. I guess I just went to sleep after that. That night, I woke up randomly, probably a couple of hours after I fell asleep. My bladder was about to explode, and my mouth was drier than the Grand Canyon. I got off the couch and headed toward the bathroom, but I heard something. A crack in the floor, like a crack from pressure. I scanned around the dark room with my eyes and saw nothing, so I went to the bathroom. While I was in there, midstream, I heard a door clicking shut. It had to be Matt's bedroom door. When I finished peeing, I went to try Matt's door, but it was locked. I knocked on the door, but there was no answer. Whatever, I went back to the couch and fell back asleep pretty easily. The next morning, I woke up at like 8 a.m., head throbbing. The first thing I noticed was my phone. It was in a weird position. I had it charging last night and left it laying on the floor next to the couch bed, but now it was sitting on the table next to the couch and it was unplugged. I was questioning why I might have done this, but ultimately my answer was simple. I was just super drunk. That day, we obviously didn't do any hiking, otherwise I would have puked. We just Ubered to the car and then did some driving around, exploring different neighborhoods, scenery, and checking out the botanical gardens. I didn't really want to drink that day, but later on, Matt convinced me. And wouldn't you know it, it was another night of getting really, really drunk. Our flight was at like 1 p.m. the following day, so at least we didn't have to worry about getting up really early. We got back to the Airbnb late again.
Yeah, I'm not really a heavy drinker, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm just not really into the drinking thing. Like, I can drink, yeah, but I don't care about getting drunk. I'm 25 years old, I'm turning 26. I've never been full of drunk before. I've been, yes, like a bit like tipsy here and there, but I've never been like so, oh my god, no, I've never been like that before. I'm almost 26 years old, so I've never smoked a cigarette, I've never smoked weed, I literally never smoked nothing. Nothing.
I'd say between 1 and 2 a.m. this time. Matt insisted on letting me sleep in the bed that night, just because it was fair. Honestly, I didn't argue. I eventually took my bag to his room and then said goodnight and shut the door. I didn't lock it. Not that it mattered, because the locks from what I remembered had those doorknobs with locks that you could easily unlock with like a butter knife or something. I wish I could say the story ended there and that we went home in peace the next day. Well, I woke up that night, probably not long after I fell asleep. I didn't know what woke me up at first. It's like waking up to a sound, but you didn't fully consciously hear that sound because you were still technically asleep when it caused you to wake up. I looked around the room, and then for my phone. My phone was missing. I had it plugged in next to the bed, and had the phone on the bed next to me. But now the cord was just dangling from the outlet to the ground with no phone. How could this happen again? I looked on one side of the bed on the floor, and then the other, and I jumped up and screamed at the top of my lungs when I saw Matt laying face down, sprawled out on that side of the bed on the floor. He looked up, looking like he'd just woken up from a deep sleep. I shouted, "What are you doing?" He looked around the room, acting confused, like he didn't know how he got there. He stood up and said that he must have been so blacked out that he just walked in here to go to bed, but then remembered I was in the bed and he crashed on the floor. But that didn't make sense because he was on the side of the bed further from the door. I then accused him of taking my phone, and he played dumb. He said I should check under the bed, maybe it fell. Then he got on his knees, looked under the bed, and instantly said, "Bro, here it is," and he pulled it out from under the bed. I looked at him, and I genuinely felt like I was staring at a different person now. Who was this guy? Did he really try getting into my phone twice? I told him I'll just go back to the couch, but he insisted he would, and then he left the room. You bet your ass I locked the door this time. If it weren't for the phone, sure, I'd just see it as he was really drunk and did something goofy, like come pass out on the floor, but I was detecting bullshit there. He took my phone, and I know it. Since I was still kind of drunk, I didn't really have much trouble falling back asleep. Once again, I wish it ended there, but it didn't.
Damn.
I woke up one more time that night, and this time, I quickly realized why. At the foot of my bed was Matt standing there, but all I could really see was his silhouette. For some reason, I didn't jump or
Oh
scream
my
this time.
god.
He sat down on the bed and started rubbing my foot, and that's when I screamed at him to get out.
What the fuck?
He wouldn't move, so I had to physically push him off the bed and out the bedroom door. I started packing my clothes into my bag, and then quickly packed all my toiletries and whatever else I packed. He didn't say a word. He sat upright on the couch watching me like a creepy NPC the entire time. It was the most unsettling part. I called an Uber to the airport. I wasn't staying there another minute. He didn't try to stop me. I got to the airport just as the sun was starting to rise, and as hard as I tried to sleep, I couldn't. My mind was just racing. I waited there the entire time for the flight. I paid like $35 to change my seat so I wouldn't be next to Matt. I looked out the window the entire time the plane was boarding so I wouldn't have to make eye contact with him. I didn't tell any of my friends until later that day. I just needed time to process and digest everything. A couple of my friends said, "See, I told you he was weird," and pointed out that both times we ran into him, he was alone. It got me also thinking that the only reason he ran into me at the outdoor bar was because he saw my Instagram story and probably came there.
Right.
Actual stalker behavior. I blocked his number and Instagram, but before doing so, I went to one of his older Instagram posts where he was with friends. No one was tagged in the picture, but I looked at the comments, and and there was one comment from a guy who looked like he was in the picture. I saw that Matt wasn't even following him or vice versa. I took it upon myself to DM the guy, asking if he was still friends with Matt. The guy responded back within 10 minutes, saying this: "Nah, guy's a freak, run away." From there, he told me about his own experience, along with the other guys who used to be friends with him, who all had to cut him off. The guy untagged himself for Matt's photo, but he said he can't forcibly get him to take down the picture. He wasn't surprised at all when I told him what had happened in Arizona.
Damn.
The guy's response was, "Guy should be in jail." It's crazy that I thought Matt was just a normal dude who was looking for a bro.
Right.
He ended up being a potentially dangerous predator. I still just want to know what he was trying to access on my phone.
And that's what sucks, because again, I would think, yeah, you just found a new, you found a bro, you found a friend, you found, great for you. Then what happened, right? So it's like, be careful. And then again, the key word, some guy I barely know. There you go. Why you on a road trip with him, or why you on a trip with him? So, no.
This happened last summer, around mid-July. I was home from college for a few weeks, and I was just trying to enjoy the break before my next semester started. My name's Kyle, and I live in Maryland. I had been talking with my two closest friends, Jason and Marcus, about doing something together. Just the three of us, like we used to back in high school. We all go to different colleges now, so it's rare that we get time like this. We ended up planning a weekend beach trip to Ocean City. Jason's family owns a small beach house there that they don't use much.
Okay.
He got permission for us to stay there for a few days. It was nothing fancy, just a 2-bedroom place a couple blocks off the sand. But it was perfect for what we needed. Just time to relax, party a bit, and catch up. We drove down on a Friday afternoon. The weather was hot, upper 80s, with that heavy humid air that sticks to your skin. It smelled like sunscreen and salt water the second we got into town. We spent the day walking the boardwalk, messing around in some of the arcades, and people watching. The beach was packed with tourists, kids running around with beach balls, families with umbrellas and coolers, and lifeguards constantly yelling at people to move out of the restricted areas. Everything felt normal. It was just a fun summer day. Later, we went back to the house, grilled burgers, had a few drinks, and started playing drinking games. By midnight, we were drunk and bored, and someone, maybe Marcus, suggested we go back to the beach. There's something weirdly appealing about being near the ocean at night. The beach is almost completely empty, the air cools down, and there's just something peaceful about it.
Yeah, this reminds me of when I was at the beach, kind of, in my city. It's kind of like the beach, but I know Mount one. It's like by Lake Ontario. It's by the lake, and we were there, and it was pitch black. Like we were there, and it was obviously still really warm outside. It was summer. It was hot. So me and my friend are literally just I had my phone in the lake too. I was further out in the lake. Obviously, I had to keep my phone up. And obviously it was a bit harder to do so, but I did it. And yeah, I took pictures of it. And I remember when I got out of the water to grab my phone or put my phone back, I went back to the water and I was like, yo, where's my friend go? Because it was black. It was black. And I was terrified. That was the perfect spot for a horse ride. It was 9 p.m. just as the sun set, right? I can't wait to start doing that with her again. And my other friend too. We also went to the lake, played Marco Polo. That's what we played. That was fun to play too, though. So that was really fun. I can't wait for that again, bro. I fucking love summer, as you guys can see. I love summer. Today, it's gonna be super nice outside. It's already probably hot as hell right now. I'm right now when you guys are watching this, probably right now, I'm probably gonna be outside either asleep. I'll be either into my room asleep, or I'll be outside tanning or enjoying the weather. So period.
We didn't bring much with us, just some hoodies in case we get cold, our phones, and a flashlight Jason grabbed from the kitchen drawer.
That's creepy right
We
there.
didn't plan to swim around or anything, just hang out and maybe walk along the shore. We headed down a side street and onto the wooden boardwalk, then took the steps down to the sand. As expected, it was basically completely deserted. The waves were steady, and the only light came from a few lamps on the boardwalk and the moon behind some clouds. There was barely enough visibility to make out where the water met the shore.
Exactly.
We walked along the
It's
edge
black.
of the surf, occasionally letting the cold water hit our ankles. We joked around, talked about random stuff, and just killed time. After a while, we stopped near one of the lifeguard towers, those wooden ones they take down at night, and we just laid in the sand looking up at the sky. That's when Jason noticed something. He suddenly sat up and said, "Is that someone walking over there?" We all sat up and looked in the direction he was pointing. At first, I didn't see anything. It just looked like a dark blur near the shoreline. But then, yeah, I saw it. A figure. But it was just a silhouette at that point, walking slowly, right along the edge of where the water touched the sand.
Which again, just because no one's there and then you see someone, it's not necessarily sus because like you guys are also there, right? So like you're not gonna automatically jump to conclusions, but it's kind of like, oh shit, there's someone there, and it's so late. What are they doing? You know. So he may not be doing. Obviously, it's in a horror story, so something bad happened, but
Probably 50 or 60 yards away. We figured it was just another person out late like us.
Exactly.
Maybe just going for a walk.
exactly.
Then we noticed that their movement was off. They weren't strolling around like someone enjoying the beach. Their walk was stiff, slow, and almost mechanical. Their arms didn't swing naturally.
A robot?
Their posture was strange. Their head was tilted down, but not fully.
Yeah, it's a
It looked
robot.
like they were staring at the sand, or maybe scanning it. We all stopped talking and just quietly watched them. Something about it put me on edge. I remember whispering, "What the hell are they doing?" Marcus suggested that maybe they're just looking for something. Jason joked that it was probably some drunk tourist who dropped their keys. We kind of laughed it off and went back to messing around, but I kept glancing at the person. A few minutes passed, and I noticed they had stopped moving. They weren't walking anymore. They were standing completely still now, and they were definitely closer, maybe 30 yards away. That's when I started feeling uncomfortable. We tried not to stare or shine our light at them, but it was getting hard to ignore. There was just something off about the entire thing. Marcus finally said, "They've been standing there for like 5 minutes. Who just stands like that?" Then Jason said something that made my stomach drop. He said, "He's not just standing, he's looking at you, Kyle." I didn't know if he was joking or not. I kind of laughed nervously and said, "Nah, he's looking at the sand." But Jason shook his head and said, "No, look closer. His head's tilted at you." That's when Jason pointed the flashlight at him. I didn't even want him to do that, honestly, but he clicked it on and aimed the beam. The light hit the figure for just a second before the battery started dying and it flickered out. But that second was enough. I saw him. He was almost grayish white with no shirt. He was wearing wet jeans, clearly from the ocean. His arms hung completely limp at his sides. His head was tilted at a weird angle. Not broken, but unnatural. And his eyes were wide open, almost bulging. The second that beam of light hit him, he moved. Fast. Without any hesitation, he broke into a full sprint straight at us.
Oh my god.
I can't even describe how unnatural it looked. There was no build-up. He went from standing completely still to running at full speed, almost like he launched forward. All three of us screamed and bolted. We didn't even look back, we just ran. I could hear Marcus behind me, yelling "Go!" as our feet pounded into the sand. My lungs were burning. We ran all the way back to the steps leading up to the boardwalk and didn't stop until we got to the street. Only then did we turn around. But he wasn't there. The beach was empty. There were no footprints behind us, just the sound of waves. We stood there frozen, trying to make sense of it. We didn't talk much on the walk back to the house. When we got inside, we locked all the doors and windows, pulled the blinds shut, and stayed up until the sun came up. None of us could sleep. I kept expecting to hear knocking or see that pale face outside the window, but thankfully it never came. The next morning, we tried to laugh it off again, say it was probably just some cracked out homeless guy trying to scare people, but deep down, none of us believed that. The way he moved, the way he appeared out of nowhere, the lack of footprints, it made no sense. We stayed one more night, but we didn't leave the house. We left early the next morning. Over the next few weeks, we tried to move on, but then Jason texted me one night. He said he'd been having dreams, the same dream over and over. He'd wake up and see the guy standing in the corner of his room, soaking wet, head tilted, just staring at him.
Oh god.
No movement, no talking, just standing. I told him that was messed up, but I didn't tell him that I was having the exact same dream. Everything was the same. The guy, the posture, just standing in my room, not moving and not talking.
What?
Sometimes I wake up thinking I hear the sound of wet footsteps in my hallway. But when I check, no one's there. Then, last week, almost a year later, I was scrolling through this local Facebook group that posts about stuff going on in Ocean City. Someone uploaded a photo they'd taken the night before from the beach. It was grainy and dark, but I recognized what they were talking about. They said, "Does anyone know who this creepy guy is that I saw standing by the water at like 1 a.m.? I clicked the photo. It was blurry, but I recognized him instantly. Same posture, same pale skin. He was just looking down at the water. The comments chilled me even more. There were dozens of people saying they'd seen him too. Some said he was there for hours. One person said they watched him walk into the water and never came back out. Another said they found wet footprints on their back porch 2 streets from the beach. No prints leading to or from them. I don't know what we saw that night, but I know this. I'll never go back to that beach at night again."
Like, he wasn't a ghost, right? Like, he was actually physically there. Like, he was not a ghost, right? Like, he was physically there, so you can't really say that he wasn't there, right? Right? That one's an interesting one. I don't know. That was an interesting one. 6-minute story from Sam.
I grew up in Massachusetts, and every summer since I could remember, I would spend the 3 months in a classic coastal New England town. You know the type if you've been in that area of the country. I had a big group of friends who always did the same thing, and we would get up to all kinds of shenanigans every day after our respective jobs. I was 19 years old when this happened, like most of my friends, and I had just gotten off of a dock boy job I had. So like any other night, I texted my friends what the plan was, and picked up my friend who I'll call Emerson from his job to go get alcohol, as he was the one with a fake ID. We got the alcohol and went back to the small town where we lived. We decided to get on my family's boat that I was able to take out on my own, to have some beers while we wait for everyone else to finish what they were doing. We drove around the little peninsula we were on to this place where a lot of people anchor and hang out. There were a couple of boats anchored already, and it was about 7 p.m., but it still wasn't unusual. We found a spot between the 2 boats, threw the anchor down, and just chilled and drank. We were having a nice time, listening to the music from the boat to our left, when the one to our right decided to leave, and then eventually the other boat's music shut off. We thought they were going to leave as well, so Emerson and I, in our new drunken state, began to groan and yell to turn the music back on to keep the party going, and a bunch of other stupid stuff like that, but it didn't happen. We were sitting on the bow and started to drink again, before Emerson said, "Dude, look." I turned around to look at the boat and saw 3 people standing on the edge, just looking at us. My first reaction was to laugh because I was drunk, and then I turned back around, but Emerson kept staring at them. Now, admittedly, I don't have a great sense of danger. I tend to be optimistic and lighthearted about most things, but Emerson was obviously uncomfortable. I told him not to worry about it. They were probably just trying to get a better look or something, but he kept looking with an uncomfortable look on his face, which I didn't get at the time. At this point, it's pretty dark, nothing illuminating the area but the lights from their boat, and therefore you couldn't really see who it was, just the silhouettes of these people. After a couple of minutes of trying to get Emerson to snap out of it, I turned back around and saw they were in the same position, staring at us. I thought it was a joke, so I got the megaphone from the compartment over the steering wheel and said, "20 to watch, fellas," which pissed Emerson off because he sensed something wasn't right. I was putting it back when I heard one of them laugh, audibly a man, but something was off about it. It sounded almost sinister. It was slow and low. It was kind of raspy. It was at that point that I started to feel uncomfortable. Emerson got up and said, "Let's get the hell out of here, bro. This ain't right." But I responded that it was fine. Right after that, we heard 2 splashes in the water from their direction and saw that only one silhouette remained on the boat. That made Emerson immediately start pulling the anchor up, as I was laughing at the situation and at him, which, looking back now, was unbelievably stupid. He tried telling me to turn the engine on while I was laughing my ass off, watching him pull the anchor up as I was trying to drink my beer. In fact, I was laughing so much that I didn't notice the sound of the 2 people swimming near our boat. Emerson paused and looked at me with the anchor in his hands, which made me pause too. We couldn't see into the water, as it was dark and the lights were off with the boat. I called out hello and got nothing. Even the sound of the splashing water stopped. Right after that, I simultaneously heard Emerson yell, "Oh shit," and a sudden splash of water behind me before I turned and saw someone trying to climb onto the back of our boat.
Oh shit.
I freaked the fuck out, and while turning the key, I saw a hand grab the railing on the side of our boat near Emerson, who was yelling and holding the anchor up, ready to fight. I finally turned the boat on and instinctively gunned it forward, smashing into the sandbar that was right in front of us. I put it in reverse and drove backwards as fast as possible until we were out of the little bay and back into more open water. I threw it back in neutral, and Emerson and I just looked at each other before he started giving me the "I told you so's" and "you're a dumbass."
I mean, yeah, I would too. Like, you're fucking stupid, bro. It's fine, bro.
I fully agreed and said we should go back, at which he agreed. In hindsight, we should have hightailed it back to the boat docks near my house, but for some reason, we decided to pick up everything that was thrown around during our escape. We didn't even finish before I noticed in the direction we just came from the lights of a boat approaching, and it was approaching fast.
Oh god.
I said no f***ing way, and jumped back to the steering wheel and pushed full throttle. Our boat is old, so it doesn't go super fast, and even though I was full speed ahead, they were gaining on us. Emerson started to lose it, saying things like, "Who are these guys? What do they want? Why can't they just let us chill on the water?" So I told him to chill out and focused on going straight to the docks. After about 5 minutes, the docks were in sight, but the boat behind us was so close that we could see the bow itself going up and down with the waves.
Shit.
I honestly didn't know what to do. I banked a hard left and got as close to the shore as I could without beaching, and miraculously, the other boat peeled off in the other direction. We breathed sighs of relief, but I still went full speed back to the docks. After docking and being relieved at the fact that there wasn't any damage to the boat, we met up with our friends after that and told them what had happened, and also came up with some theories, like maybe they wanted to rob us, or maybe they wanted to take the boat. We didn't recognize the boat, so they probably weren't from around here. I don't know. I don't like to think about what would have happened. I'm just glad we didn't find out. I do know that I'm thankful for Emerson being there. Without his skepticism, I think things definitely could have taken a turn for the worst.
Bro, you would have been dead. Easily, you would have been dead because you were drunk and stupid. So you would have been dead 100%. I can't wait to read these comments, bro. Those are some pretty good stories. I do think that this one was a lot better. Like where the police couldn't help, that one was so much worse. The odds of two dudes actually hitting each other up after brewing it up at the bar Simpton on goes on a trip with the stranger dude he met at the bar. Exactly. Like you just met him and then you're on a trip with him. The strange part was dude barely knew the Matt guy and agreed to travel that far with him. Exactly. Like I would never go that far away with someone that I just met. You have to question his judge of character, let alone why he would just so willingly go. Reminded me a lot of the dude from the movie Creep. More horror stories or prison horror stories? Oh my god, that sounds horrible. Mine, the first story has no boundaries. My bladder was about to explode and my mouth was drier than the Sahara, than the Grand Canyon. Lol, this guy has a way with words. I was thankful for Emerson being there because he actually had survival skills. I was really walking on the beach and I listened to this, and when he started telling the beach horror story, I started running back to the hotel. Can you imagine, bro? Like you're at the beach listening and then you're like, oh fuck, this is about the beach. Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of there, bro. That's funny. The second story is exactly the type of horror story that truly chills me. The uncanny, unnerving creature stories that almost sound human but unexplainable at the same time. Not to mention the way the story is worded, you can totally imagine you and some friends in the exact same scenario. Yeah, honestly, like when Mr. Nightmare, I was gonna say Damian, when Mr. Nightmare says these horror stories, I try to like imagine it like I'm there, and that's why like sometimes I'm like, oh fuck, bro, and then like because it's like, bro, like yes, you're just hearing a horror story, like you're imagining yourself in that scenario, and then like what the fuck would I do in that situation, right? So that's terrifying. Who travels with someone they just met recently? Not me, bro. Not me. I don't like traveling with my friends either. I don't like traveling, period. With anybody. It's unsettling how summer, a season associated with freedom and joy, can harbor such chilling tales. The contrast between sunny days and dark events adds an eerie layer to these stories. It makes you think twice about those late-night summer adventures. 100%, bro. You never know. Again, summer adventures at night's not great. It's so warm outside. There's no sun, but it's so warm. You can go for a walk. Horror is still out there somewhere. So, gotta be careful, bro. The creep again, the second story going into a full sprint with a build up from completely sitting still. That did it for me. So messed up and scary. It sounds like something supernatural to me too. Yeah, it was kind of like, is it even human? Like, how? Each guy was a ghost. The fact that everyone saw him, but there was no footprints. It never came back. That's not a human. That's a ghost. Fuck, it's terrifying. At the same time, though, it's like they had the same dream as well. They all had the same dream, which is creepy. Just had surgery, resting up in a strainer post-random time. Well, I hope your surgery went well, and I hope you're okay. Fuck, man. Can you work for once? Thank you. I'll be 3 more comments, guys. 3 more comments. Thank you. The first story was both creepy and confusing. I think Matt's plan was to potentially drunk Rodney and hack into the phone every night, which, well, what made it more scary was the friend who was tagged also shared his experience about him. That's true. Second story of the creepy guy gave me the chills. Sounds like a demon, especially after they got home and having nightmares about him. Great stories. Anyone else forgot halfway this was a horror vid during the first story? Yeah, because everything seemed so fun. Like they're bros chilling. Like everything's going so good. They're hanging out. Like everything's great. You know? Okay, one more comment. 10 years to listen to you and it's only gotten better. Thank you so much for your nightmare. I spaced out for half a story too, and honestly I do that sometimes too, and I space out and I'm listening, but then I'm thinking about something else and I'm kind of like, wait, what did I just hear? Then I have to go back just because I'm not really focusing. So yeah, I feel that. I'm the same way sometimes, bro. This is a long fucking reaction. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a like, comment down below, be sure to subscribe. Again, summer's great, summer's fantastic, but please be safe as always. Summer, fall, winter, summer, spring, doesn't matter where you are or what time you are in. Horror does not take a vacation, even in the summer. So I feel like horror stories actually increase in the summertime because like there's more people outside more and just bad things happen. So please, as always, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Summer is going to be in about, I think, 20 days, 19 days now. So it's approaching fast, which is great. The weather's already feeling the summer, which is fantastic. So yeah, I can't wait for it. But hopefully I don't have any horror stories. I'll see you guys later. Deuces. Peace.